How many of you love taking selfies? Anybody? Who's the selfie queen of the group? Yeah. Selfies are fun, and it's just so interesting how now that we have smartphones and a camera with us at all times of the day, we can so quickly pull it out, take a picture with some friends, and post it within like a minute flat, right? And I was curious the other day about how many selfies are on Instagram. So I did a little quick search of hashtag selfie, and when I checked, there were 375 million pictures with that hashtag. And I'm sure that number climbs by thousands every single day. Part of why I think we love taking selfies so much and posting things on social media is because we love affirmation. And I believe that we all have 3 core questions that we want answered in our lives. And sometimes we go to social media, to our online friends, or to other people to answer those questions for us. I believe the questions are, does anyone see me? Does anyone know me? Does anyone love me? And I think it's easy for us to, in this world where we're supposed to be more connected than ever, actually feel disconnected. When we post a selfie or a picture and we don't get the likes or the shares that we had hoped we would get. When we write a blog post and there are crickets and no one makes a comment. We don't feel like we belong. We question our selfie, our identity, and we wonder, does anybody notice me? And during a time in my life where I was feeling this way, God reminded me of a story in the book of Genesis about a woman who I believe had these same questions. I don't think that we're unique in having them. I think that people have had these questions since the beginning of time. And in Genesis chapter 16, there is a woman, and her name is Hagar. And she, I believe, had these questions. And if you don't know her story, I'll give you a little bit of it. There's this couple, and the man's name is Abraham, and the wife's name is Sarah. And God goes to Abraham and tells him, I am going to make you into a great nation, and you are going to have more descendants than the stars in the sky. And as Abraham's wife, Sarah was a little confused because they were already up in age. Abraham was 75 years old and she was 65, well past those ages of having children. And Sarah wondered, how could this be possible? So, as we women sometimes like to do, she decided to create a plan, something that would jumpstart the process of God bringing this promise to fruition in their lives. And so she went to her maidservant and said, you're going to sleep with my husband so that you will have a child, and this child will be considered mine. And that's exactly what happens. It sounds a little bit more like a crazy reality TV story than something that would be in the Bible. But this is what happens. And as you can imagine, because of female hormones and emotions and all of these feelings that we very often have, it didn't produce a good result when Hagar finds out that she is pregnant. And instead of being submissive to her master, she runs away to the desert and she flees to God. And can you just put yourself in her shoes for a moment? Abraham and Sarah, if you read the text carefully, they never even mention her or call her by name. She was only referred to as the maidservant. And Hagar out in the desert, in this just moment of desperation, an angel of the Lord comes down from heaven and tells her, Hagar, where have you come from and where are you going? And God saw her. He met her in this place and he called her by name. He knew her. He knew of her needs. And he loved her so much that he said, this son that you are carrying, you are going to name him Ishmael, which means God hears. And Hagar was able to leave that place changed. She went back to living with Sarah and Abraham. And before she leaves back to them, she says, I have now seen the God who sees me. And I hope and pray that when you find yourself in that situation of wondering if you matter, of questioning, does anyone see me, know me, or love me, that you will remember that the God of heaven created you, he loves you, he sees you, and you never go unnoticed.